Today, we're cracking open a cookbook, but this isn't for your kitchen. No, this is a recipe for growing your brand's visibility with AI, and it's based on a real-world strategy that got some pretty incredible results. So, let's get cooking.
So just how good were the results? Well, the brand that followed this exact recipe saw its traffic shoot up by nearly 80%. And just to be clear, this isn't some theory. This is a real outcome from a real case study. A number like that, yeah, that gets your attention, right? And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's one thing to see an amazing result like that, but it's another thing to know the exact steps to get there yourself. So, let's break down exactly how they did it. We're calling this whole thing the AI Growth Cookbook. It's basically a 4-step workflow that mixes your standard SEO with something we're going to call GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. The goal here is simple: make your brand a top pick for both Google and for AI engines like ChatGPT.
Here's the whole recipe in one shot. First, you start with a diagnosis, kind of like a health check. Then you build a topic map, which is like your menu. After that, you've got daily content creation, and you finish it all off with a really smart Reddit strategy. This is our roadmap for the whole process.
All right, let's dive into step 1, the health check. You wouldn't start cooking a big meal in a messy kitchen with broken appliances, right? Well, it's the same idea here. You can't build a strong online presence on top of a broken website.
And here's why this is so critical. This isn't just about finding a few broken links. It's about making sure AI engines can actually understand what your brand is all about. If your site structure is a total mess, the AI just gets confused. And if it's confused, you might as well be invisible. So what do you actually do? Well, it's pretty clear. You start by running a full performance analysis. Then you check what's called your AI visibility score, which is just a fancy way of measuring how often your brand shows up correctly in answers from things like ChatGPT. And finally, you use all that info to generate the technical files you need to fix whatever's broken. Okay, so once your kitchen is clean and everything's working, it's time to plan the menu. This is where the topic map comes into play, and it's where we shift from fixing old problems to proactively building our future. This is a massive mental shift for a lot of people. You have to stop just writing about whatever pops into your head. The goal is to fill what are called semantic gaps. Think about it like this: if you're a bakery but you've never ever written about flour, that's a huge gap in your story. Filling these gaps is how you connect the dots for AI and prove you're a real authority. And the process is pretty straightforward. You generate the right keywords for your niche. Then you organize them into a content calendar for the next 30 to 60 days. The trick is making sure you have a good mix of helpful, educational articles and stuff that's more geared towards social media and engagement. And now we get to the really fun part, the actual cooking. But we're going to do it in the smartest, most efficient way possible. For step 3, our motto is cook once, serve everywhere. Here's how it works. Every day, you take one single idea from your topic map and you write one great, well-structured article for your website. That's the cook once part. Then you take that same article and you slice it and dice it into posts for X, for LinkedIn, for Medium, everywhere. That's serving everywhere. It's about getting the absolute maximum mileage out of every single piece of effort. And finally, we have step 4. And honestly, this might be the most powerful, most overlooked ingredient in this entire recipe. This is all about getting out there, not to sell, but to actually join the conversations that are already happening. The results from this are just huge. I mean, the case study saw a 512% increase in referral traffic because of this. But maybe even more important, it creates what experts call brand entity signals. That's just a technical way of saying it's proof that real people are talking about your brand using natural human language. And let me tell you, Google and AI engines see that as a massive vote of confidence. So the strategy here isn't to go spam your links everywhere. No way. It's about finding the right communities, listening to what they're talking about, and then offering genuinely helpful answers and advice. The main goal isn't even to get a click. It's just to have your brand mentioned organically in a real conversation. Okay, so to make sure all this really sticks, let's use a quick analogy. Imagine your brand as a library. Step 1, the health check. That's just making sure your library is built on a solid foundation. No cracks, no leaks. Then you've got step 2, the topic map. In our library, this is the card catalog. It's the system that organizes everything so people, and AIs, can find exactly what they're looking for fast. Next, step 3, content creation. This one's easy. This is the act of actually writing the books and putting them on the shelves, day in and day out, filling your library with valuable information.
And finally, step 4, the Reddit strategy. Well, that's the book club. It's where people gather to talk about your books, to debate them, to recommend them. It creates that social proof that tells everyone your library's the place to be.
So, we have all 4 ingredients. But now we need to talk about the secret sauce, because real success here doesn't come from just doing one of these things really, really well.
It comes from combining these 3 pillars together. You absolutely need the solid technical foundation from step 1. You need the constant flow of high-quality content from steps 2 and 3, and you need that real-world community engagement from step 4. They all have to work in harmony.
And that's really the big takeaway. You can't just focus on one piece of the puzzle. The solid foundation, the organized catalog, the endless supply of new books, and the buzzing book club. You need all 4 working together if you want to build a library that people and AI are going to absolutely love.
So there you have it. The recipe is all laid out, the instructions are clear, your library is waiting to be built. The only question left is, what's the first book you're going to write?